How you doing? Please let me know if you can hear me well. Please let me know if the sound is okay. Can you hear me well? Please type it into the chat if I can be heard. Hey, what's up? How you doing, guys? Please let me know in the chat if you can hear me well. The sound is one of the most important things of a live stream, of course. So please let me know if you can hear me. It would suck if you can't. Sound is good. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Okay, so sound is excellent, perfect. Oh, oh my God. I just saw something disgusting on uh, on Instagram. Okay, let's forget this shit. Let's scratch that. Okay, so let's see. We got 7 people on. I can see 7. All right, let's start. So what we're going to talk about today is astral warfare and astral protection. Now, the the very first thing that people need to understand, I believe, is that conflict is kind of like the nature of the lower worlds. Okay, when I talk about lower worlds, I'm talking about everything below the mental plane. Okay, so you know, mental plane, then astral plane, uh, and etheric plane and physical plane. They're all full of conflict. Okay, all full of you know contradictions, you could say. Okay, so the first thing that you need to understand is that um, energetically speaking, we're constantly at war. Yeah, so you can feel that when you come home at night, or when you've spent a day around people at work, or even if you're not doing something like that. There are many different situations in your life in which you can feel this conflict taking place. You will feel it within yourself, but where that is actually taking place is energetically. Okay, please understand that there are contradictory intentions by people. There's different impulses, different ideas, hatred, envy, jealousy. All of these things influence the energetic surroundings around us. No, so let me just give me 1 second. All right. So the point is, what we need to do is we need to learn how to. Hold on. We need to learn how to protect ourselves against that, and how to win those fights, how to win those battles. Okay, give me 1 second. So, winning those battles requires you to be capable of astrally protecting yourself and astrally fighting those battles. Okay, so you're please understand you're constantly under attack energetically. You can feel that. You experience that on a daily basis. You within yourself feel uh, the emotion, which is the result of this energetic conflict that you're exposed to all the time. Yeah, makes sense so far, I think. So what you need to do is you need to learn how to master that, how to become stronger than these uh, these astral attacks. Okay, good. How do we do that? The number one thing is we strengthen our energy body. We strengthen our energy body by strengthening our will. Your will is an expression. Jesus, how many bots do I have here? Okay. Um, your there's so many bots here. So your will needs to be strengthened to the point where it moves the energies around you. Okay. Your will is something that has to be hold on to or held on to, uh, regardless of the emotions that you have. All right. This is also called discipline. The more discipline you can develop in terms of holding on to your will against resistance, the more you're going to be able to overcome those negative influences. Please understand, there are people that are jealous of you. There are people that wish well upon you. Yeah, which is good. There are people that wish bad upon you. It doesn't even matter that if they cast spells or not. Now, if they cast spells, of course, that's a little bit worse, and it's going to take you even more effort and more energy to overcome that. But please understand that we live in a world where most people, uh, you know, the majority of the people don't necessarily wish you well. It's a sad thing to say, unfortunately. But that's the reality of life. Most people are but at a very low level of consciousness, you see, and since they're at this low level of consciousness, now they operate from this from this competitive point of view. So they see you as a threat, regardless of what you do. Something that they want maybe they want to see you do well, but not better than them. Okay. So what you're confronted with is a bunch of people that uh, will try to kind of like they will try to see you as a competition or will do that regardless. Okay, so whatever you do that is productive, that is good for you, that is out of the ordinary, you will be attacked for it. Okay, and most of those attacks are not going to be overt. They're going to be energetic, and you all know what I'm talking about. You live in society, you live amongst people. There's constantly an energetic competition between them. So the energy that you use to fight off those conflicts, because you will have to. You will have to. What do you think is going on as you're at night? You can't sleep because you're struggling with this, with those worries, let's say, or there's something that in your mind that you can't get out of your, or there's something that you can't get out of your mind in terms of an interaction with somebody that was not positive. What do you think is going on there? This is an energetic battle that is taking place, and you're exposed to it. It costs you so much energy, right? Good. So what you need to do is uh, you need to learn how to overcome that. First of all, you need to understand what battle you're fighting. Okay, because most people don't talk about this, but this is going. They call it mental health and all this bull. It's nothing to do with mental health. It's just an energies that are attacking you, energies that are messing with your energy, and you need to be stronger than all of those influences. You really have no choice, literally. You must be stronger than all of those oppositions that come against you. And this is one of the most important things that we learn in magic, that we practice. We become stronger in mind and spirit so that we can master the conflict that exists in this world. We are born into a war, and you really have no choice but to become a warrior if you wanna thrive here. Okay. Are there spirits that can influence your thoughts and actions through your energy field in a negative way? Uh, I mean, isn't this an obvious? I mean, I think the answer is obvious here. No, is this a serious question? Of course, Mm, absolutely. There are spirits that can influence you negatively, but I'm talking about how you can um, how you can strengthen yourself. Now, the first thing that you need to do is you need to understand that this must be a daily practice. Okay, a daily practice that strengthens you spiritually. Training is not something that you do. Training is something that you live by. Okay. Training is a way of life. Okay. And it's something that you do every day. Physically, you should train every day, and spiritually, you should train yourself every day. Now, what does that boil down to? Certain practices, such as meditation. Meditation helps you clear your mind. Okay, meditation helps you clear your energy. That's not going to be enough, though. Meditation is the foundation. It's the bare minimum. Secondly, you need to practice concentration, because concentration is what allows you to feed your energy, your mental energy, into thought forms that will serve you. Okay, instead of the ones that are not going to serve you. How does that look in a concrete way? Like I said, you're going to experience many, many energetic attacks throughout the day, all the time, constantly. People call that depression. People call that mental health issues. People call that, they have all kinds of names for that. But what's actually going on is a negative thought form from a person, or even just flowing through the ether, attaches itself to the aura of the person. And now it creates this internal turmoil. And the person is now engaged in a battle. It has to overpower this thought form, in order to regain emotional clarity within themselves, and to move on and to move into the direction that they want. The more resistant your aura is, the more the stronger your energy field, the more you can balance this stuff out, but you're still going to deal with it. So meditation is the basis. Number two, concentration. Why is concentration important? Because you can now, through concentration, you can feed your energy into the thought forms that you actually want. And that in turn is going to allow you to create the reality that you want. Okay. Next, you need to learn banishing. You should learn banishing, and banishing makes your aura harder, and harder to influence. Okay, and that is really how you do it. These practices are invaluable, and there are of course more, but that's the foundation. Okay? How can I find out someone is going to betray me before they do it? Watch their behavior. There's something called uh, the human chart of, or is it the chart of human, or evaluating human behavior? So basically, the the when the person has negative intentions towards you, they will start acting in a certain way. The communication is going to be an indicator of that. So the quality of the communication will tell you a lot. Listen to your gut, and listen to the gut feelings that you get in terms of inconsistencies. Your subconscious knows more than you know consciously. Okay. And then, of course, you could use divination on top of that. And if you can, ask somebody else to do a divination as well, so you're not the only one that that does the divination. I mean, you're not going to be very objective in that situation, you see. So a second opinion is definitely useful. But yeah, so that's what I would look at. There's a lot of bad energy on the internet. It's a reflection of humanity. The internet is a reflection of. Internet is essentially a manifestation of Yesod. Yesod is the astral plane. The internet is a reflection of that. Whatever you find on the internet, that's part of the human collective unconscious. It's a perfect reflection of that. And this is where we're at. Look, even if we have less physical wars, less hot wars, so to speak, even though we have enough going on out there, right? But it's less physical wars, but this warfare has now transitioned into a more mental plane. It's the air epoch. Okay. So the mental plane is becoming more and more important, and all of those battles are taking place uh, at a mental level now. You see, so World War III is really, really at full force right now, but it's astrally, it's like energetically. The minds need to be conquered. Okay. Desm walk. If I, he asks, are you offering mentorships at this time or anytime soon? Desmond, one thing you need to understand is I don't forget, nor can you fool me with some uh, acronym or whatever you're using there. I don't forget, nor do I forgive. Okay, please understand that. Could putting physical distance from the thought form help with protection? Or will I, hold on. Could putting physical distance from the thought form help with protection? Or will I get stronger faster if I stay and become more resistant? What? Could putting physical distance from the thought form help with protection? Physical distance is irrelevant when it comes to these things. Physical physical distance is completely irrelevant. Not even time distance is relevant here. You know, this is all something that can happen instantaneously. Yeah, good. Okay, so all right, hold on. Good, good. How long is this live stream? Okay, 17 minutes. All right, so let's do a little bit more. Yeah, physical distance is completely irrelevant. This is something that can take place in an instant. Okay, so if you're right on the behavioral part, which so right, which part? Behavioral part. Look, the main takeaway from this live stream is please understand that the stuff that you feel throughout the day and also when you're by yourself or when you're I don't know when you try to relax or whatever, this internal conflict that you're feeling and these thoughts that you can't get rid of and this emotional pressure and all that stuff. Uh, this is not something that indicates that something wrong with you. Okay, it's not that you have a mental health problem. It's not that you're depressed or any of that. It's simply that the condition that we live in. We live in a world in which different energies, and that includes people's intentions, wills, you know, all of that stuff is in constant conflict with each other. You know, and um, some people will have negative intentions towards you. That's just what it is, you see. And one of the secrets to mastery in this world is you have to master this energetic and mental and spiritual conflict. You cannot thrive in the physical if you don't conquer this other world, you know. And in fact, conquering the other worlds, meaning mental and spiritual and all that stuff, comes before you conquer something here. If you were to, let's say, fight somebody, you know, not that I encourage that, no, like no physical violence, please. But if that was the case, you would have to first beat that person mentally and energetically and spiritually. Mhm. So let's assume I would have a fight. I would astrally destroy that person, and then that would make sure that physically I will win too. You see, the spiritual and the physical are connected. You know, so if you have something important to do, if you go into an important situation, make sure that you conquer that situation energetically first. Now, what that looks like in detail is up to you, right? But if that's a situation where there's a conflict, let's say a legal battle or something like that, you would have to destroy the opposition spiritually first. and then the physical is going to be the result of that. Please understand that the physical is just a result of something else, other dynamics. Okay, so this is important to keep in mind. And how do you become better at that? By using what I just described earlier: meditation, visualization, concentration, and obviously this is going to lead to more success in the physical world as well, because you cannot succeed in the physical unless you do that first. The more battles you win spiritually, the more battles you will win physically, you see. In fact, most of the battles are spiritual. How do you generate emotions to feel as if a goal has been achieved? I can't for the life of me do it. Man, uh, you need to experience the situation already. Don't go for the emotion, go for the for being in the situation. Okay. So if you can't imagine that, start trying to before you seeing something or creating visuals is usually harder than creating tactile sensation. So what would it feel like in your body? Be specific. What would it feel like in your body if you were in that situation? What would you feel in your hands? I know this you're not used to this, but this is how you do it. This is how you can get used to it. Okay. So how would it feel in your hands if you were in that situation? How would it feel in your body all over? Like how would it feel in every single part of your body if that situation was accomplished? What would you hear? What would you smell, taste, and so on and so forth? And as you do that, you will then start creating images, right? And you need to get really good at that, because this is the secret to life. This is the secret to creating opportunities, even. Do you recommend the LIRP? You meant to say LBRP, right? With the uh, do you recommend the LIRP with the? Do you recommend the lesser invoking banishing ritual of the pentagram with the lesser perhaps the middle pillar to assist in strengthening the aura? Also, could you explain a simple energy circulation technique to expand the aura by chance? No, the lesser. I mean, you only invoke things right before you do a specific ritual for a specific purpose. The lesser banishing ritual, the pentagram, is there to banish energies around you, which is something you can do daily. But invoking certain energies, you wouldn't do daily unless you do some sort of a path working. Okay, and a simple energy circulation technique to strengthen your aura. Yeah, the short energy circuit, maybe that's from Tai Chi. Oh man, just Google it. I'm really not in the mood for explaining it. You know, I've done that many times, I think. But Google is small energy circuits in Qigong. This is music to my ears. Might as well be a Tuesday church service. Thank you for this live, Frank. You're very welcome. Thank you. Would you say becoming more stoic helps with managing your energy and what you pay attention to? Yeah, that's definitely also helpful. Sure. Being stoic means you just you're just careful what you assume that you have a limited amount of attention, and you got to be careful what you put your attention towards or to, you know. There's a I heard somebody else say something very funny or something very interesting. He said he only has a limited number of fucks to give, and he's got to be really careful what he gives a fuck about. I think that's a good way of putting it. We only have a limited amount of fucks to give, a small basket, and we have to be careful what we give fucks about. And I think that's a good attitude, but that's not going to be everything. I mean, being stoic really means that you strive for balance in all situations. You see, so at the end of the day, I think life over time will make you stoic, anyways. You know, right? It's usually very young people with limited experience that are kind of like all over the fucking place all the time, right? It's like something happens and it goes super high, or something bad happens, it goes super low. This comes from a lack of experience because you can't put it into context. Something bad happens, you think it's the worst thing that's ever going to happen to you, ever has happened to you. But with a lot of experience and observing life and learning about its rules, you begin to understand that everything has to be put in context. And yeah, there will be bad days, but as sure as there are bad days, there will also be good days. So everything is in context now. Stoicism, that's like its own thing. This is like a very deep thing, deep philosophy, you know. So if we're using this term, we really got to be careful when it comes to the definition of what that means, you know. Because Stoicism has a lot in common with Taoism, actually. Stoicism is about um, a dissociation from the physical experience. So being in the midst of sickness, disease, and not allowing that to change your temper. Okay. At the same time, being in the midst of the most beautiful day that you've ever experienced, and not allowing that to really move your temper because it's just an illusion. And the goal of that is not to just be a cold-hearted prick. The goal of that is to be um, separated or disassociated from the physical experience so that you can associate and identify with a more spiritual, abstract perspective. You know, so that has a lot to do with Taoism. It's very similar. You know, and hold on, thank you, Rutger. Will the next round of the Infinite Initiation class be coming within the next year, Frank? I don't really know what you mean here. Will the next round of the Infinite Initiation class be coming within the next year? I really don't know what you mean. The Infinite Initiation system, or the next round, or are you talking about the School of Adepts or any of that? The School of Adepts closed. There's nobody that can get in there anymore. Um, and this other thing, I don't know. Maybe you're confusing things here. Will the next round of the Infinite Initiation system be within the next year, Frank? Depends on many different factors. I can't tell you right now. This is not something where uh, like there's a regular opening for new people to come in, and then we handle those and pump them through some some courses, and then they're out or something like that. This is not how it works. The Infinite Initiation system is like a deep, dedicated study of the most advanced magical system out there. So I don't know. I really don't know. It's usually like a one. It's like an individual decision. I'm not opening it up for like lots of people at once. We'll be talking about psychic seduction again. What do you want to know, my love? What do you want to know? Psychic seduction is one of my favorite topics, obviously. But you got to ask a question. Do you have a question? You seem to have a question. Psychic seduction is really simple when you break it down. Just like magic overall is very simple when you break it down. But if you can't control your mind, none of this stuff works, obviously. So it's like anything else. It requires dedication. It requires dedication and practice and overcoming yourself more than anything, I guess. So I don't know what to say, but I'm sure you have an idea about that. Hold on, give me one sec, guys. I need to answer this. Do we have some more questions? I'd love to answer some more interesting, fascinating questions. Oh man, fucking Halloween's around the corner, huh? Holy shit. Yeah. So what can you say about psychic seduction? Psychic seduction. The question is, what can you do with it? Or how far can you take it? I think that's a good question. How far can you take psychic seduction? See, what I like to do, if I really do psychic seduction, or sorry, let's not talk about what I do. Okay, what I do is not relevant here. But what you can do, for example, is you can see when you see a person walking down the street, you see your associations with that person. You don't really see that person objectively. You see um, a cliche, so to speak. Let's say a guy walks down and he has a suit or he wears a suit. Um, you're going to automatically, and this is your subconscious does it automatically. You're going to put him into a certain category. You're going to think whatever businessman, and depending on who you are and the association that you have with suits, you're going to respond to that person in some way or another. You're going to think something, or like you're going to feel something, and so on and so forth, right? If a movie star walks down the street, you're going to respond differently. You're going to feel like you know that guy because you've experienced him in so many different situations. Even just visually, you've seen him in so many different situations. You feel like you know him, right? The Rock, oh my God. Or whatever. Christian Bale, I saw you saving the world, right? As if it was real. So what I'm trying to say is essentially, in those moments when you see that person, those associations are not conscious to you, but you have those associations, and therefore you respond to that person in a certain way. Correct? Now, what if you could enter somebody's subconscious mind and give them certain experiences that create certain associations in regards to yourself? So that person, when they see you, they're not going to see you. What they're going to see is this person that has spent a, a whole lifetime with them in a romantic relationship, and it was the most beautiful thing ever, and they now have to be with you, or they experience you as this person that has saved their life in so many different situations, or it's a long lost love, or a soulmate, or whatever. You can give them any association and believe about you that you want, and the best thing is it's not going to be conscious. they're not going to be they're not going to know why they think that about you. They're not going to know why they see you in that way, but you, through psychic seduction, have given them those associations. You see? Does that make sense? And now they're going to feel for you what they feel for that person. Am I making sense here? Who knew men cared about the art of seduction? Listen, men have invented the art of seduction. What are you fucking talking about? Does Casanova have a vagina? Or do you think Casanova had a vagina? I think women overestimate their power when it comes to that completely. You see? Because they hear about Cleopatra and all that shit, and they wear makeup. Listen, the best seducers are men. Always have been. Have to be. Think about it. Biologically, sperm is very cheap. Eggs are very expensive. So women in our species are much more selective when it comes to sexual partners than men. Because men have literally, I mean, almost no investment in it. So it was always about men trying to convince women to have sex with them. You see what I mean? So the problem is, my friend, licious booty, you've only experienced amateurs. That's the problem. Empires fall because of us. Yeah, yeah. Okay, good. Sure. Empires fell because of us. Okay. Whatever. I'm not going to go into this discussion, but it is absolutely affected. There's a listen. I'm obviously not talking about the majority of men. It's I agree with you. The majority of men are shit at that. The majority of men are actually simps. You know, they're controlled by their lust, and most men are very weak. Yeah, that's true. But the best seducers, once again, are men. But you are probably right that the average woman is better at seduction than the average man. That is true. Okay, but the outliers are definitely men, for sure. Okay, and hmm, yeah, I mean, I guess it's a given. I don't want to go into more of an argument here, but that's seduction also makes you dangerous, of course. Makes you very dangerous. The ability to do that stuff. Magic in general makes you very dangerous. Yeah, but I think we can find a compromise here. That's yes, the average woman is better at seduction than the average man, but the best seducers are definitely men, for sure. Be glad you're an attractive man, Frank. The women just come to guys like us, and we don't have to be beg like the rest of these simps. Uh, well, yeah, I guess maybe that makes it easier because we don't come from a scarcity mindset. That's true. Because if I guess if like yeah, I guess we'd never had a scarcity mindset. That makes it easier to do that. But I truly believe that attraction of a man is not necessarily something that has only to do with looks. I think an average looking man or even a little bit ugly looking man, if he gets in really good shape and builds up some muscles, he will get women for sure. And as he builds up his body, he will also improve his attitude, hopefully. And what does it mean to have a good attitude? In my opinion, you just need to be strong. You need to have a strong mentality. And I'll tell you what, a handsome man with a weak character is not going to get women at all. In my opinion, no. Uh, I'd say a good-looking guy, but he's a pussy and he's weak. He doesn't have like a his bicep. He's got stick arms and no muscle and he's physically weak. I don't think that guy's going to get a lot of women. He's good looking, maybe. You know. I know the media is telling you a different story, right? Or telling us a different story. The media is telling us a different story in terms of like these what are they called? Abercrombie and Fitch. What's that fucking brand? All those models. Like these fashion models, these male models, they're all fucking pussy. Like they look skinny. And maybe some teeny girls would go for that, but a real woman wants a man that is masculine and strong. He needs some power, man. He needs some power. I think good looks, and of course the women here are invited to give their opinion. It's always interesting. I think if you're good looking, that's definitely a plus. But good looks alone as a man is not going to help you, man. What you need a strong build. You need some fucking muscles. You need to be able to pick her up, throw her around, and you need to be able to protect her. You need to be able to protect her, lead her maybe emotionally, mentally, and all that stuff. Right? And listen, I mean, she's gonna have sex with your body. Obviously, she's not gonna have sex with your face exclusively. Obviously, I mean, you can. I mean, if you're into that, you can eat her out, maybe. I'm personally not a fan of that. I don't like to eat pussy. I mean, there are very few women in my life where I wanted to eat their pussy, maybe three or four. That's it. The rest, I didn't really have the urge to do that. But she's gonna have sex with your body. So if your body's not tight, and you don't have to be, like I said, you don't have to be a bodybuilder or anything, but you need some muscle, man. You need some muscle to be good looking. And physically, the face, I know a lot of men that are not good looking in the face at all, but they're jacked. And they get pussy like crazy, man. They get women. They get a lot of women. So I think the number one thing that a man needs to do is get like physically stronger. That's gonna help him a lot. And that can translate into a stronger mentality too, right? All the simping comes from, um, in my opinion, the simping comes from this idea that uh, there's a woman that can make your life right. Now, women can definitely make your life better without a question, but a woman is not going to make your life right. What you have to understand is that it is your job to make the woman's life right. How? It's very primal, man. It's very simple. Because the only reason why men and women come together biologically is to have offspring, to have children. And even if you don't have children with her, she's still going to want that. What does that mean? Is she going to worry about you and the kid or just about the kid? Think about it. In the wilderness, in the fucking jungle, let's say you have kids. When you're with the woman, and it's all about survival, is she going to worry about the kid or about you? You see? So obviously she's going to worry about the kid. She's not there to take care of your emotional problems. You are there to take care of her emotional problems. Basically, you're there to protect her physically, emotionally, and mentally. That's basically what you're supposed to do. So that she can take care of the child. It's very simple, man. It's really not that complicated, you see. And I really believe if you can signal that protection, and protection can take on the form of money, for example. Resources are attractive because it's kind of like a protection that you can use to take care of her. And I think that's why mental strength or a strong personality and intelligence is important because you can take care of her. You can help her like mentally, and you can guide her mentally. So she doesn't have to take care of that. She doesn't have, she's got enough stuff to worry about with this child, you think? You see? And physically, or physical strength is important because you can protect her physically. See, I think that's it. It's very simple. So think about primal man, woman, child. That's it. And that's that. I think that explains attraction pretty well. Now, in this scenario, now think about this primal setup. Okay, in the jungle, man, woman, child, very primal. Now imagine the guy falling apart because of stress or something like that. That's it's not only unattractive, that's fucking life threatening, man. That's life threatening because is he gonna fall apart when the fucking the silver tooth tiger or whatever or the fucking wild animal shows up? Like this guy can't even deal with stress. How is he gonna protect me and my baby from this wild animal? Makes sense now, no? So this is why you can't run to your woman, even if you have problems. I get it. Men, we hurt too. Men have emotions too. Obviously, we have our problems too. And sometimes we feel desperate, yeah. But you can't run to your woman. If you want your woman to respect you, you cannot share your problems with your woman. I know she tells you different stories. I know she tells you, please be open with me. Please tell me. No, she does not want that. She thinks she wants that because it makes your tight, it makes your bond tighter. But she's your woman, man. She's not there to solve your problems. You are there to solve her problems and your fucking problems. That's what you're supposed to do as a man. Okay? And I know it's hard. Being a man is hard. Okay? But if you have a fucking problem, your woman is the last person that you should ask for advice. The last person. Find a man, find a friend, a powerful friend. That's why you have a network. That's why you have powerful friends. Do you have powerful friends? Well, if you don't have powerful friends, I can tell you why, because you're not powerful. And how you become powerful, you build up skills, valuable skills, you see. So this is what you should do. You ask another man if he can help you with that, if he has a solution. Do you know how to deal with that? You consult with them, as we do. We solve problems together. That's what we're built for. And please, 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 don't give your woman a headache. What what's she gonna do, man? First of all, most of the time she can't even solve your problems. And secondly, why the fuck does she need you if you can't even solve your own problems? You're supposed to solve hers. Do you get that? You're fucking men, you see? And I think this is what a lot of people have confused these days, I believe. But as you can see, my philosophy is very simple. Be a fucking man. Old school. Be a man. Be the strong, silent type that gets shit done. Yes, he's hurting inside, but who gives a fuck? And if nobody else gives a fuck, you shouldn't give a fuck. You should solve the problem because there's no other option. Or jump off a cliff. I mean, that's I guess that's the other option. I don't know. You just get it done. That's it. Just get it done. It's simple. And I don't think we're evolved to feel sorry for men. To be honest, I think we're evolved to feel sorry for children and women because that's important for the offspring and all that stuff, but not for men. Not really. So, what's your option? You got to become stronger than the problem. That's it. Um, yeah, and maybe that comes from where does it come from? When we had a good mother, we experienced unconditional love from our mother, right? And you know, in an ideal case, it's never ideal, of course, right? But the love of a mother is really pure, right? Hopefully. And I think a lot of men spent their entire life trying to reproduce that with another woman. Like they're trying to find that love that they experienced from their mother in another female, which is weird, first of all. And secondly, it's not going to happen. And then they're surprised when she leaves them. She told me she loves me. But what is love, man? What is love? Love is different polarities coming together to create life, to reproduce life. This is love. But if one part stops doing its job, the other part cannot stay. So if you try to make her your mommy, obviously she's gonna leave. Your mom, that's in the past, bro. You need to move on. You need to be her daddy. That's what you need to become her daddy. You know, psychologically, you need to become the daddy of your woman for sure. You need to become her father. I believe that. I truly believe that because her father is the man that can fix all problems. You see, I know a lot of women that love to call me daddy. You know, and I believe that's why. It's not because they literally want to have sex with their father. It's more like this archetype. It's like I'm safe. I can let go, and you will fix everything for me. So whatever. That's just my 2 cents. That's just my 2 cents. Wasn't Napoleon the biggest simp ever, though? I thought, well, I believe, and that's an assumption. Maybe you just saw the recent movie that they did about Napoleon, which was a woke 2023 adoption of his story, an interpretation that was essentially created to slander and destroy his name, I believe. You know, but no, I don't think he was really that way. You know, good. Most men are intimidated about me. Okay, great. Uh, could never open up to a woman ever in life. Okay. Being emotional to a woman as a man is the first step to get her less aroused for you. I guess it depends on what. Because listen, I think one thing is also, I mean, depends on the woman, obviously, right? But I recently seduced a woman, uh, another French girl. I don't know why I have a. It's been since I think for 2 years now. I had this obsession with French women. I don't know why. I really don't know why. But anyways, recently I seduced another French woman, and one of the see one of the one important aspect is she needs to see your vulnerability too. She needs to see your vulnerability. How else is she going to fall in love with you? She can't fall in love with an ice block or Mr. Perfect or whatever. Yeah, there must be some tragedy. There must be some dark side, you could say, or some vulnerability. But the vulnerability has to be surrounded by strength. So you can definitely share your vulnerabilities. You can share your weak moments, but you must see that you have grown past that and become stronger. That makes you even more attractive. You see, it's like a scar on your soul. Scars are attractive to women because it shows that somebody tried to kill you or tried to hurt you, but they couldn't. You survived, you see. And the same applies to the emotional realm as well. So you can have scars in your soul. You can be traumatized, you can be fucked up, you could have a fucked up childhood, all of that. As long as you survived and became stronger through the process, that will make you more attractive. And you can definitely share that. Just don't share that you can't deal with life. I tell you what, it's actually amazing if you share traumatic events and how fucked up you were and you know like really hard stuff that we all go through, but you not didn't only make it through, you thrived. That makes you more attractive, you see. So you can definitely share your weak moments with her, but not as you're experiencing them. Does that make sense? That makes you attractive. That makes you even more attractive. Men are survivors. Scars make you attractive. you know I have a theory. I think that's why tattoos are sexy. And that's why tattoos make women less attractive and men more attractive. Think about it. Think of a woman that is really tatted up. Makes you less attractive, makes you look less pure, less feminine. A man that is tatted up, depends on the man, right? But I think tattoos can make men really, really attractive. Okay. Okay, perhaps off topic, but I was wondering if there's a specific house where we may find the karmic lessons we need to address. What should we be looking at in order to discover that in our charts? That's the 12th house, usually. And anything that is aspected by Pluto. Frank, if you made a podcast talking about dating, you'd blow up even more big. That'll definitely be something. I mean, just ask me questions about psychic seduction. I can't help myself. Yeah. French women accent is a vibe for sure. Very true. Yeah. Okay. The nuclear family is very important. All right. Let's not take this discussion or this live stream into some political. Maybe I'm just traumatized from all these discussions, nuclear family and all that stuff. But let's not make this political, okay? Please, I don't want to go political there. I thought I was getting a sugar daddy, and I ended up with a crack daddy instead. Oh yuck! Talk about embarrassing. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. Never get high of your own supply, they say, right? What does a 12th house June person experience? Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up now, guys. Hopefully you got something out of this, and I don't know. Hopefully you could take something from that. And well, I'm gonna hopefully see you on the next live stream. Yeah, peace. Bye bye.